Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Low on the Go. It's your sports fix for the week. We're glad you could be with us. I'm your host, Russ Lowe. Today, we're going to be talking about the University of Tennessee. And you know what? It's a special time of the year. It's approaching that time in October, the fourth week in October, where we face our hated rival, Alabama. And I hate Alabama. And I'm sure many of you do too. And I'm not talking about some perverted, sick type of hate, wishing ill will upon people. I'm talking about a respect, but a disdain for our opponent. Alabama is one of our biggest arch rivals of all time, and it's time we go into Tuscaloosa and take a big win and take the air out of their sails, and that's what we're going to do this Saturday. Let me tell you something, folks. I know a lot of you negative naysayers were out there before the Georgia game. And when we defeated Georgia, many of you shut your mouth, and now you're nowhere to be found. But let me ask you something. Will you examine yourself this week? If something happens and we lose to Alabama, are many of you going to come back out of the woodwork and jack your jaw again and run your mouth and say a bunch of stupid stuff that you're going to regret, or stupid stuff that just doesn't need to be said? I guess what I'm trying to say right now is, why don't we put the rally caps on? Why don't we unify together and get ready for one of the biggest games remaining on the schedule? Because it's the next game. We're 3-3. We have a chance to be 4-3 after a bye week. We get some healthy players back. We're going to be ready. We're going to be focused. Let's get behind our coaches. Let's get behind our players. Let's be unified, one full front as we go into Alabama. Let's go into Tuscaloosa and take this big win this week. We have the talent to do it, folks. Don't kid yourself. We have the talent to do it, and we have the coaching to do it. But let's get behind our team, and let's help them as they prepare and focus themselves for this game. It's a big opportunity. It's a national spotlight. It's a CBS National Game of the Week at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time this Saturday, and this is our chance to really hit Alabama where it hurts. We could basically knock them out of the West representative role in the championship game, the SEC title game. We have a chance to put them out of it. And at the same time, we have an outside chance to still win the East. There's a lot to play for. Because let's face it, folks, let's look at facts here. We're 3-3 right now. A win over Alabama puts us at 4-3, and we're going to be favored. Let's just go ahead and look at that. We're going to be favored in our 5 remaining games after Alabama, okay? So we have a very strong chance of finishing with a victory over Alabama and a win, as we'll be favored in the final 5 games. We could finish at 9-3. At worst, 8-4. Because if we do slip up against Alabama and we win the final 5 games, we'll still be 8-4. It's still going to be an improvement, folks. The talent is rising at Tennessee. The recruiting classes are kicking in. What used to be freshmen and sophomores are now juniors and seniors. The leadership roles are kicking in. You see Josh Dobbs. You see the maturity. You see the mental maturity on the field that young man represents. And you see the focused play, the leadership role. The fact that if he can't find a pass downfield, he's going to take off and make a play with his feet. He is going to engineer the game. He is going to run that game like a well-oiled machine. Has he been perfect? Absolutely not. But he has played his heart out these last few games. And yes, we can go back and we can look at the games we should have won. Of course, we feel like we should have won the games against Oklahoma, Florida, and Arkansas. We can't change that now, folks. Let's take our energy from those games that we cannot change, and let's put our energy into Tuscaloosa this Saturday and the games that remain on the schedule. As I've said before in a previous show, I absolutely love and adore this fan base. I've not experienced other stadiums or other fan bases personally. I've never been to an SEC road game. I've been to many home games in Knoxville, and I know we have the most passionate, loyal fan base in the country. I can safely say that. I believe it with all my heart, and I'm a part of that passionate, loyal fan base, and many of you are as well. But as I've talked about recently, there's a few people that put a tarnish, that put a sore on the surface of the fan base, and I'm talking about the people that just continue to poison the elements with their comments and their beliefs that things need to be done their way, or they're not going to support the team if certain things happen. We live in this age now where there's an immediate media outreach with all the social media that's out there and all the ways to vent our frustration and our concerns, and we think there's a lot behind our comments. In other words, we take a lot of stock in what we believe, whether it's right or wrong. And sometimes that can be misguided. Sometimes it can misrepresent what you believe as a fan, and you come off as a fool or a jerk because of the way that you are imposing your belief and your thoughts on things. Just take it easy. Be a fan. You know what? Let's go into every game. I've always done this, and many of you do. We have a right at the University of Tennessee. We have a legacy. We have a heritage. We have a belief system. We have a football team, for goodness sake, and we have the pedigree to win every game on the schedule. In my opinion, you start out 50-50 each time. You have a 50% chance to win every game because you're either going to win it or lose it, no matter who the opponent is. And so many factors play into these games each week. There's injuries. There's warm-up injuries. Injuries before the game. Weather is a factor. Sickness is a factor. Your personal feeling. Sometimes these guys, it's hard to get these young men motivated for a game each and every week. But you know what? The motivation needs to be that this is the SEC. It's the best conference in the land, and we have an opportunity to represent the East Division in the SEC championship game in early December, and there is still plenty to play for. So fans, let's turn our passions up several notches. Let's get behind this team. Aren't you proud to have a team that we have? There's so many teams out there that are just going through the motions. They have nothing to play for. They play in a conference that nobody cares about. This is the SEC, and this is the University of Tennessee, and I love my Volunteers, and I know all of you do too. Let's rally around this team. Let's fully support them, and let's see what happens. I think there's still many great things that are going to happen in this season. There's still plenty to play for. Yes, we have 3 losses. The coaches are upset. The players are upset. We're all upset. Let's play with a little chip on our shoulder. How about we take some attitude into Tuscaloosa Saturday? How about we go in there and refuse to be beaten? How about we go in there and rally around and believe in ourselves? The fan base not chipping at each other, not insulting each other on radio shows, and not calling each other out. Let's be at a unified front and believe that the University of Tennessee is going to go into Tuscaloosa this week and pick up a big W, because that's exactly what's going to happen. I firmly believe that we have the talent, the coaching, and the personal pedigree, the determination that it takes to win in Tuscaloosa. This isn't some effort where I'm sitting here trying to convince myself. We have the talent. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, when Derek Dooley was here, we didn't have the talent. We didn't believe. It's all about the coaching. Butch Jones is a tremendous head coach, and folks, whether you like him or not, he belongs here. He is the man that is going to get us as close to the Philip Fulmer era as anybody has and anybody ever will. Let's face it, there aren't many coaches available out there right now. If you look over the general landscape of things in college football, you see Steve Spurrier quitting in the middle of the year. You see other coaches in other places. They're not really content, and they're not really doing well. You don't want second-rate guys at Tennessee. Butch Jones is a champion, and he has the mentality of a champion, and he is going to carry this team to do great things. And you've got players like Josh Dobbs, who has the heart and determination to make plays. Jalen Hurd, who is a literal workhorse on that field. Alvin Kamara, who's going to come in, and I believe he's going to make a statement in this game because he used to play for Alabama. He wants to show them up. He wants to show them what they're missing now. We have other great playmakers. Jalen Reeves-Maben is starting to become an anchor member of that defense. And there are so many talented guys. Derek Barnett and other guys are going to be out there trying to do some things on defense. This is going to be an incredible effort, folks. But let me just remind you, folks, no matter what happens, whether we win or lose, let's keep our dignity. Let's keep our integrity about us. Let's remember that we are Tennessee fans, and we are privileged to be the fan base of the greatest team in the nation, the Tennessee Volunteers. Let's keep our heads straight. Let's keep our focus on, no matter what happens, win or lose, and let's be there for our team. They deserve to put their best effort out on the field for us. We deserve to get that from them, and they deserve our loyal, unshakable support at all times. Even if you don't agree with a play, even if you don't agree with a call by the coach, even if you don't agree with a certain, if you think things are predictable on third down and you call the play and you think that makes you high and mighty because you know what's going to be called, so what? Let's stay focused and stay behind this team. They deserve it. We deserve it. We're champions. We're on our way back up. There's going to be times it doesn't feel like it, but we're on our way back up, folks. Remember how good it felt, the national championship season, for those of you that are old enough to remember it. Those of you that aren't old enough, we're on our way back up. I think you're going to get your feelings well known in that same realm here in just a few short seasons. Let's be patient, folks. It takes time to put together a championship caliber team. There's recruiting, there's coaching, daily practice, daily efforts, things we don't see, things that the coaches have to contend with, things that the players have to contend with in their own lives, personally, professionally, and everything. Let's rally around. Let's realize how good we've got it, and let's quit nitpicking at each other, and let's quit the distractions and the division. Let's be unified. That's what it takes. And at the University of Tennessee, as great as it's been, it deserves no less. Folks, I want to thank you for listening. Please comment in the comments section. Please get a hold of me on my email at lowonthego@gmail.com if you want to leave some comments. Like and subscribe if you wish. I thank you for listening to this program, and we'll see you next time on Low on the Go. Thank you.